Have you ever found yourself standing at a metaphorical crossroads, faced not with 2 or 3 paths, but with a dizzying, almost infinite array of possibilities, each beckoning with its own promise, each shadowed by its own uncertainty? In that moment, did the celebrated ideal of freedom of choice feel less like a liberation and more like a crushing weight, a source of profound anxiety, perhaps even a paralyzing force? Welcome to Existential Psychology Insights. If these are the kinds of questions that stir your mind, I invite you to subscribe to our channel and join our community of thinkers. We strive to explore the depths of the human experience together. Today, we confront a paradox central to our modern existence: the existential burden of too many choices. In a world that relentlessly promotes options, that equates freedom with an ever-expanding menu of possibilities, from career paths to consumer goods, from lifestyle choices to belief systems, an increasing number of us find ourselves not empowered, but overwhelmed. This isn't merely about everyday indecision. It touches upon a deeper, existential unease. Philosophers and psychologists have long recognized that freedom, while a cherished human aspiration, carries with it an inherent and often uncomfortable counterpart: responsibility. The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard spoke of the dizziness of freedom, that vertiginous feeling that arises when we confront the sheer open-endedness of our potential and the gravity of our choices. When every path is open, the weight of choosing correctly, of not squandering our finite existence on a wrong turn, can become immense. In previous generations or in more traditional societies, life paths were often more clearly delineated by custom, by community, by necessity. While this undoubtedly had its own limitations and frustrations, it also provided a certain structure, a framework that could alleviate the raw anxiety of absolute, unbridled choice. Today, many of those traditional guideposts have eroded. We are, as Jean-Paul Sartre famously declared, condemned to be free. Condemned because we did not choose to be thrust into this existence with such radical freedom, yet we are nonetheless burdened with the task of defining ourselves and our lives through the choices we make. There is no pre-written script, no divine blueprint to follow. We are the authors of our own story, and that authorship is a weighty responsibility. This burden is exacerbated by several psychological factors. One is the pervasive fear of regret. When faced with numerous appealing options, the act of choosing one inherently means forgoing others. Our minds, prone to imagining alternative scenarios, can become haunted by the what-ifs. What if the path not taken would have led to greater happiness, more success, less suffering? This fear of future regret can make the present moment of decision almost unbearable, leading to what psychologists call analysis paralysis. We become so engrossed in weighing every pro and con, every potential outcome, that we fail to choose at all, remaining stuck in a state of suspended animation. Then there's the modern cult of optimization. We are bombarded with messages that we should be living our best life, making the optimal choice in every domain. This pressure to maximize, to perfect, turns every decision into a high-stakes gamble. Instead of choosing what feels authentically right for us, we get caught in an endless loop of research, comparison, and second-guessing, terrified of settling for anything less than the hypothetical, often unattainable, best. This isn't freedom. It's a new form of tyranny, the tyranny of the optimal. Consumer culture, with its endless proliferation of products and lifestyles, further fuels this anxiety. The promise is that the right purchase, the right experience, the right brand of self will unlock happiness and fulfillment. But this externalizes our sense of worth and meaning, making us dependent on an ever-changing marketplace of options, none of which can truly satisfy the deeper existential longing for purpose and connection. So, how do we navigate this landscape of overwhelming choice without succumbing to paralysis or existential dread? How do we transform freedom from a burden into a genuine source of power and authentic living? The first step, from an existential perspective, is awareness and acceptance. Acknowledge that the anxiety of choice is a normal, even inevitable part of the human condition in a world of such freedom. Don't berate yourself for feeling overwhelmed. Recognize that this dizziness is a sign that you are confronting the gravity of your own agency. Secondly, we must shift our focus from external validation to internal alignment. This means cultivating a deeper understanding of our own core values, our authentic desires, and what truly constitutes a meaningful life for us, independent of societal pressures or the pursuit of fleeting trends. When our choices are rooted in our values, they gain a sense of coherence and rightness, even if they are not perfect or universally applauded. This is the essence of authentic living. It involves asking, does this choice align with who I truly am and what I stand for? Rather than, is this the optimal choice according to external metrics? Developing tolerance for uncertainty and imperfection is also crucial. Life is inherently uncertain. No choice comes with a guarantee. The attempt to eliminate all risk, all possibility of error, is itself a source of paralysis. Learning to make the good enough decision, the decision that aligns with our values and allows us to move forward, is often more empowering than an endless quest for the illusory perfect choice. Embrace the idea that life is a process of trial, error, and learning, not a performance to be perfected. Furthermore, we can implement practical strategies to manage decision fatigue. This might involve limiting our options where appropriate. Not every decision requires exhaustive research. Sometimes, setting clear criteria and making a timely choice is more beneficial than prolonged deliberation. It can also mean delegating or simplifying decisions that are not central to our core values or life purpose, thereby conserving our mental energy for the choices that truly matter. Learning to trust our intuition, that deeper sense of knowing that often gets drowned out by the noise of rational overanalysis, can also be a valuable guide. This doesn't mean abandoning reason, but rather integrating it with that inner wisdom that speaks to our authentic self. This often requires creating space for quiet reflection, for listening to what our gut, our heart, is telling us. Finally, remember that action itself can be a powerful antidote to paralysis. Sometimes the best way to gain clarity is to take a small step, to experiment, to engage with the world, rather than remaining trapped in the realm of abstract possibilities. Each action, each experience provides new information, new feedback, which can then inform subsequent choices. Meaning is often found not in contemplation alone, but in the active engagement with life, in the commitments we make and the projects we undertake. The freedom we possess is indeed a profound gift, but like any powerful tool, it must be wielded with wisdom and intention. By understanding the existential dynamics of choice, by cultivating self-awareness, and by rooting our decisions in authentic values, we can begin to transform the paralyzing burden of too many choices into the empowering agency of a life consciously and meaningfully lived. We can learn to navigate the crossroads not with dread, but with a courageous and discerning heart, ready to author our own unique and fulfilling story.